Four schoolgirls thought one night of fun wouldn't change anything. But by morning, everything was different. It was just another regular school day, or so it seemed. As the final bell rang and students poured out of the gates, four girls, Zara, Nia, Blessing, and Keisha, shared secret glances. Hidden under their uniforms were tightly packed party outfits, and in their backpacks, makeup kits, heels, and excitement. They had been planning this for weeks, a one-night escape from routine, a night of freedom. As dusk settled, they slipped out from the back of the dormitory, laughing, their adrenaline masking the risk they were taking. Outside, a car honked twice. Keisha's cousin was waiting. One by one, they piled in, heads low, giggling like children getting away with something they knew was wrong. Moments later, they arrived at the heart of the city, where the party had already begun. Music pounded through the walls, neon lights danced over the crowd, and the girls merged into the rhythm like they belonged there. They danced hard, loud, free, posing for photos, sipping drinks, enjoying the thrill of being where they shouldn't be. But time moves fast when you're chasing moments that don't last. At 3:07 a.m., Zara checked her phone. Her eyes widened. "Guys, it's 3 a.m. Silence fell among the girls. The music still thumped, but suddenly it felt distant. Nia stumbled as they rushed outside, trying to call a ride back. They knew the school gates would be locked, and roll call was at 6. There was no way they'd make it unnoticed. By sunrise, word had already spread. The girls had been seen sneaking back into campus by a janitor, and one teacher recognized them from a video that had already gone viral. The principal summoned them immediately. They stood in silence, uniforms disheveled, eyes heavy. "You've brought shame to this institution," he said coldly, holding up a suspension letter. "Your future, it's not a game." Parents were called, letters were written, and as the other students whispered and stared, Blessing sat alone in the classroom. She held her report card in her hands, her fingers trembling. Her name was there, printed in black ink, but all she could see was red. Red circles around her failed grades, red stamps marking her late attendance, red symbols of a night that changed everything. Tears welled in her eyes, not just because she was suspended, not because she was caught, but because deep down she knew that night, filled with flashing lights and fake laughter, had cost her more than just marks. It had cost her trust, respect, and direction. She thought back to the moment they ran toward the car, laughter echoing behind them. It had felt like freedom, but now it started with music, laughter, and a moment they thought was harmless. Four schoolgirls, Zara, Imani, Keisha, and Lola, had snuck into a downtown nightclub, still in their green school skirts and white tops. Their plan wasn't to stay long. Just a few dances, a few pictures, and back before anyone noticed. But as they stepped into the neon glow of the dance floor, the energy pulled them in like a magnet. The music was electric, and the crowd didn't care who they were. Zara was the first to pull out her phone. "Let's go live," she said, already flipping her braids with a practiced smile. Keisha grinned, pulling Lola into a dance move. Imani, slightly hesitant, joined in as the others cheered. They started recording, hips moving the beat, laughter echoing in sync with the flashing lights. One of them yelled, "Schoolgirls gone wild," and the camera caught it all. Within seconds, the video hit TikTok. Hashtags followed. Hashtag uniform vibes, hashtag night class, hashtag litaf. What happened next was faster than they imagined. Within hours, the video racked up thousands of views. Comments poured in. some cheering them on, others shocked. "Queens, they brave FR. Far. This is mad disrespectful." The girls felt like stars. They refreshed the video over and over, watching the likes climb like a high they didn't want to come down from. But the internet doesn't keep secrets, and it never forgets. By morning, the school WhatsApp group was buzzing. A teacher had seen the video, the principal had been tagged, an emergency staff meeting was called before the first bell even rang. The footage was undeniable. Their uniforms, their faces, the school logo. It was everywhere. Parents were called in. The girls were pulled from class and made to sit outside the office. Imani's mother showed up first, her face pale with shame. She didn't say a word, just looked at her daughter with eyes that held more disappointment than anger. Later, a counselor walked in holding a document. Imani's scholarship, cancelled. The foundation funding her studies had withdrawn support due to misconduct violating student image policy. Inside the principal's office, the girls were quiet. All four sat around a table, phones in their laps, hearts in their throats. No one dared to look up. No one spoke. By evening, the video had crossed 1 million views. They sat in Zara's room, the same video now playing on mute. But the sound wasn't needed. Their expressions said everything. What had once been exciting now felt shameful. Their smiles in the video looked foolish. Their moves looked careless. They weren't proud anymore. They were trapped in their own image. Not everything that goes viral is worth it. They learned that too late. It all began with a message that seemed too good to be true. Zara was scrolling through her DMs during lunch break when it popped up. An unknown account with a flashy profile photo and almost no followers. "Hey beautiful, VIP invite for an exclusive party tonight. Only for the real ones. Location drops at 6. Attached was a flyer with bold text. "Strictly invite only. Free entry for school beauties." It looked professional, the design sleek, the kind that made you feel special just for receiving it. She showed it to Blessing, Keisha, and Lola, her closest friends. Their eyes lit up. It sounded like a dream. No school rules, no uniforms, just music, lights, and freedom. "We're going," Zara said confidently. "Everyone cool will be there." At 7 p.m., the girls skipped prep class and changed into tight dresses and high heels, makeup carefully applied in the dorm bathroom mirror. They sneaked out through the back gate and caught a local rickshaw to the pin drop location they received just 30 minutes earlier. Their laughter echoed in the alleyways as they arrived outside what looked like an old warehouse with loud music spilling out through rusted doors. Inside, it was nothing like the flyer promised. No security, no stage, no decor, just loud music, flashing red lights, and unfamiliar, much older faces. The air was thick with smoke and tension. Men stared too long. Someone locked the door behind them. Lola whispered, "This isn't right." But the others were already trying to play it cool, pretending it was just a low-budget vibe. Minutes passed. Then an argument broke out near the bar. A man shoved another. Glass shattered. The crowd started to shift, panic in their movements. Zara turned around, and Blessing was gone. So was Keisha. And Lola's phone? Gone. Pickpocketed. Her chest tightened. She spun in circles, searching for a familiar face, but it was just chaos. Fear swallowed her like a wave. She stumbled outside, barefoot now, her heels lost in the panic, alone on a dark road, with no signal and no idea how to get back. She fought back tears. That's when a voice called out, soft but firm. "You okay, sweetheart?" A middle-aged woman stood nearby, holding grocery bags. She looked at Lola with both concern and understanding, as if she'd seen girls like her before. Without asking too many questions, the woman offered her water, then walked her to a nearby police booth. From there, they called her parents. Her father picked her up an hour later, silent the whole ride home. The next morning, Zara, Blessing, and Keisha returned to school, shaken and quiet. Not all enemies wear different colors. Some sit right next to you in uniform. Zara, Keisha, Blessing, and Lola were known around school for their confidence, fashion, and fearlessness. Teachers often warned them to focus more, smile less. But no one disliked them more than Mariam, a quiet, sharp girl who stayed in the shadows. While they were admired for their charm, Mariam was ignored, and slowly that envy turned toxic. It started with a casual conversation after lunch. Mariam approached the girls at their usual corner by the back of the classroom. "You guys talk big," she said coolly, "but I bet none of you would actually dare sneak out and hit a club tonight." The girls blinked, surprised by the challenge. "Why not?" Zara shot back, smirking. "We've done crazier." Mariam smiled, pretending to laugh along, but her eyes said something else. "Prove it," she said. "Tonight. I'll even send you the location." That night, fueled by ego and the need to defend their image, the girls got ready. Short skirts, high heels, and confidence on full display. Just before leaving, Mariam messaged them the address, a low-key lounge just outside town. She said nothing more, no warnings, no farewells. What they didn't know was that Mariam had followed them. Disguised in a black hoodie, she stayed across the street, phone in hand, recording every step. She caught them entering the lounge, captured snippets of them laughing, dancing, and clinking drinks. It wasn't about their fun, it was about evidence, cold, undeniable proof. The next morning, the principal's face was a storm cloud. He summoned the girls to his office before assembly. "I don't even need you to explain," he said, turning his laptop to face them. The footage played, clear as day. Their faces, their outfits, their mistake. This was sent anonymously with timestamps. "2 of you are being expelled effective immediately. The other 2 on final warning." Zara and Blessing couldn't speak. Their parents had just arrived, eyes full of disappointment and confusion. Keisha's mother collapsed into a chair when she heard. And Lola stood frozen, numb. They'd made mistakes before, but this felt final. As the girls left the office, broken and silent, a figure watched from the stairwell above. Mariam, alone, leaning against the railing, scrolling her phone with a smile creeping across her lips. She didn't want their downfall for fun. It was revenge. For every time she was mocked for being too serious, overlooked for leadership roles, forgotten during birthday invites. Now they were the forgotten ones. She was the one with power. But what Mariam didn't realize, it was supposed to be harmless fun. Zara, Keisha, and Lola lied to their parents, saying they were staying at a friend's house to study. Instead, they slipped into a crowded party downtown, laughter covering the guilt. Music boomed, and drinks flowed too easily. Keisha, excited and nervous, took 1 too many shots. Minutes later, she collapsed. Panic hit hard. Zara screamed for help. Lola fumbled for her phone, but no one at the party knew what to do. They rushed Keisha to the hospital in a taxi, hearts racing and eyes filled with fear. She survived, but the damage was done. By the time they returned home, the final exams had passed. Keisha was suspended. Lola barely made it, and Zara, once top of her class, was told she'd have to repeat the year. One night changed everything.